Istoriam timelines can be displayed either in an horizontal format, where the axis of time is displayed horizontally and dates increase from left to right, or in a vertical format, where the axis of time is displayed vertically and the dates increase from top to bottom. In this tutorial video we will review the difference between the two displays and when to use one versus the other. To demonstrate the difference between the two display formats, we will use a timeline that shows the different battles that took place in the main Eastern Theater during the U.S. Civil War, starting with the horizontal display. With the horizontal display, the dates progress from left to right. Also, the space between the dates is regular and constant, so two events separated by 2 months will have twice the horizontal space between them than two events that are separated by a single month. Furthermore, each event is displayed with an horizontal line, which length reflects the duration of that event. This is a good view to see which events took place concurrently as well as to correlate between the occurrence of those events. In our example, we can see that the operations in Western Virginia took place at the same time as the Manassas campaign, but the blockade of the Carolina coast took place sometime after the beginning of the two mentioned campaigns. By then, the Manassas campaign was over but not the operations of the Western Virginia. Note also that with the horizontal display one and only one axis of time is used with the timeline. This mode of display is the most common mode for displaying timelines and works very well when the relative dates at which the events took place and their duration are important. Now what if you only care about the sequence of events, but less about their duration or how they correlate? This is when a vertical display can be more useful. Note that the vertical display feature is not part of the basic package of the application. It has to be bought separately. However, you can try it for 30 days before you purchase it. To switch between the horizontal and vertical display, click on the Timeline's menu item, select Display, and then the Display option. A vertical display uses a different approach for displaying the timeline. Every layer in the hierarchy will have its own axis of time. In some cases, the vertical axes can have overlapping dates. The records are also displayed sequentially based on their start date and with a constant space between them independently of their duration. The distance between two dates on the axis of time is hence not constant, unlike with the horizontal display, but is dependent on the number of records within a time period. Back to our timeline example, and using the vertical display mode, note the following. The content of the timeline remains the same. The hierarchy structure of the records remains the same but now expanding with a new vertical column for each record expansion. Each hierarchy will have its own axis of time. So while the dates on a single axis is always progressing, that might not be the case between two or more axes. The dates on the axis of time increases from top to bottom. As previously mentioned, the space between two dates is dependent on the number of records to be displayed for a given date. In our example, 5 campaigns took place in 1861 and 9 in 1862. Hence the space between 1861 and 1862 is much shorter than the one between 1862 and 1863. Record levels are not supported. Records are always displayed sequentially based on their start date. Some configuration variables, for example, position of the axis of time, are not supported. Those variables are grayed out in the control panel when the vertical format is selected. Let's try another example to highlight the difference between the two. Let's consider the list of U.S. presidents. In an horizontal view, and using a granularity of 10 years, the timeline extends over a long horizontal axis. That might be desirable if you want to view the different events that occurred under each president or the duration of each presidency. With this display, you can clearly see that Harrison's presidency was very short. But what if you only care to see the order in which the presidents were elected? A vertical display will present that order in a much more efficient way. In conclusion, the vertical display mode is more efficient when you care more about the sequence of events than that of their concurrency. But at the end, which format to use might also be a personal preference.